Now, the Philistines were mentioned first back in chapter 21 of Genesis, and Abraham lived among them for many days, unquote, unquote. It says, who were the Philistines? Now, Snell states that Palestine derives its name from the Philistines, who were seafaring people who had afflicted Egypt, quote unquote. Those who settled around modern Gaza are best known, and he also says that they were called something different. Checker, Tjekker, further north. They came from the Aegean Sea and brought Mycenaean pottery from Greece with them. They had 5 major cities, each ruled by a despot, and Snell says that they tried to control the hill country of what we call Palestine today, probably starting out as the Pharaoh's mercenaries, of which the Egyptians used quite heavily. Now, Greek mercenaries were used through the ancient Near East, affecting language and culture, preparing the way for Alexander's eventual conquest and the spread of the common or Koine Greek language with which the New Testament was written. Bienkowski and Millard's Dictionary of the Ancient Near East concurs with these statements. Durant barely mentions them in his history. There's one thing I want to change in there. The Philistines are listed as Philistim, plural, in the list of descendants from Ham. So they came from the Aegean Sea. They had to leave from either either Mizraim, Egypt, or perhaps some other, but they went out there, but they came from that section, that area, and they are descendants of Ham. So according to Usher, quoting his Christian historian Eusebius from his work Chronicles, who was quoting Castor of Rhodes, the reign of the Argives in Greece began in 1856 BC. Also quoting Varro from his work Human Antiquities, Archbishop Usher, refers to Inachus as the first king about the time of Isaac's move to Philistia, 1796 BC maybe, for a respite from the famine. The Ogygian deluge was supposed to have occurred in Greece, and this is found in the works of Elanicus, Castor, Thales, Diodorus Siculus, Alexander Polyhistor, and Julius Africanus, as reported by Eusebius. Now for some definitions. The Argives were of Argos, one of the foremost Mycenaean cities of the Peloponnesus. In Homer's Iliad, Danaans, tribe of Danaus, and Argives commonly designated the Greek forces opposed to the Trojans. The Greek geographer of the 2nd century, Pausanias, as reported in the Encyclopedia Britannica, stated with regard to the Argives, quote, from the earliest times have loved freedom and self-government, and they limited to the utmost the authority of their kings, unquote. The Peloponnesus is the part of Greece south of the Isthmus of Corinth. The Philistines may have come from there, escaping the constant struggles that occurred as the Greek city-states were forming. Another possibility is that they were refugees or colonists from the fallen Minoan civilization of Crete. The Minoans were a mercantile people who engaged in overseas trade and showed signs of a highly developed civilization from the middle of the last half of the 2nd millennium, around 1700 BC onward. Things to remember would be the mythical king Minos and his labyrinth uncovered by Sir Arthur Evans at Knossos, the palace of the Minoans. Their pantheon of gods was headed by a goddess. In the mythology, the labyrinth was an elaborate maze that contained the Minotaur, half man, half bull, which was eventually defeated by the Athenian hero Theseus, who Plutarch states was the son of Poseidon and was contemporary with the Atlanteans. Now, we'll talk about the Ogygian deluge next and go on from there. So I hope that you get something out of this and that you find it interesting at least. But feel free to put your comments in there. I'm using this, being able to talk it out, to try to help me figure out where I want to change or look differently, look in different directions here. So I did find something I want to put more about the Philistines descendant from Ham in my notes, my text. All right. Thank you for watching, and feel free to make comments.